Hello and welcome back. My name is Karen and you're on the journey with Kare. I just want to open this video by saying that I'm just so grateful to those of you that watched my first video, and in particular to those of you that took the time to comment. It was very inspiring and heartwarming, and I was just so glad to connect with you. So thank you for choosing to be on this journey with me. So in terms of mindset, it starts generally with a thought, and that thought can create reactions in our body. So if we have a negative thought, which we might call stress or anxiety, that can create all kinds of things. We can have heart palpitations, our stomach could churn, we could feel weak, we could feel nauseous. It's a very uncomfortable feeling in the body. So that's more on the negative side. And on the positive side, if we have a positive thought, we can feel sort of uplifted, and it can make us feel excited as opposed to afraid. And, what's interesting to me is that in the body, those two sensations of fear and excitement are actually very close. And scientists have studied the brain and they've studied all the various neurochemicals that get released. They're actually very, very similar. So if we learn and we take the time to realize this, we can actually change that feeling of fear into a feeling of excitement. And it has a lot to do with the way that we're perceiving what's happening. Sort of, we have a thought, and are we taking that same thought as something that's scary or as something that's exciting? And how can we learn to do that? So, for instance, let's say, um, let's say your husband or partner has been transferred and you're going to need to move to a new city. Now, at first, that could sound terrifying. You could be leaving behind, obviously the place that you live, that you're comfortable in, that you've made a home. You could be leaving behind your friends, all the activities that you do, and that could seem very scary. But you could take that same opportunity of moving and then you can turn that into something positive. You can look at it as like, wow, I get to stay friends with all these people. And especially now with technology, I can reach out to them, I can stay in touch, I can come back for visits. But in the meantime, I'm going on this brand new adventure and I'm going to be able to find a new place to live. We're going to be able to look around for the right neighborhood for us. And I'm going to be able to start some new activities. Maybe you're going to get a new job there, or maybe you're going to, be the stay at home parent, or maybe you're just going to look for new activities to do with new groups of people. And that can be a really exciting thing. So it comes down to mindset in the way that we're perceiving what's happening. So, one of the things that I've learned that I've developed in myself as a habit, which takes time, is number one is starting to realize that we have control over the thoughts that we hang on to. Now, of course, we're bombarded with thoughts. I don't even remember the number of thoughts, the many, many tens of thousands of thoughts we have in a day. But I see them like clouds passing through the sky. And as we know with the cloud, it doesn't stay that long. It moves slowly sometimes, sometimes faster. But so thoughts are coming and going all the time, but it's the ones that we choose to hang on to that are the important ones. Now, if let's say you've heard that you're going to be moving. Now, if you hang on to that as a negative thought of, oh my God, I'm leaving everything behind, and you just keep going around and around and around in our monkey mind, spinning with that negative thought, you're going to encounter all kinds of negative sensations in your body. You're not going to feel well. And then the chemicals that get released in your brain change slightly, and they just create that feeling of anxiety and stress in the body. But we have a choice. We don't have to hang on to that thought. It can come into our minds and we can just say, oh, there's a thought. And then, we can deliberately change our thought. We can choose to think of something different, something that's positive. It could be as simple as, you know, just looking around for something in the house that makes you feel good. It could be your animal, your pet, a child, a picture, looking out the window. It could be anything else. And put your focus there for a second. And before you know it, that previous thought has gone away. Now it may creep back in again, and then you have the option again to just let it go, choose, deliberately choose a different thought to focus. So, what I'm trying to say is the mindset is so important. Looking at positive versus negative, what feels good in the body. Our bodies are amazing. They are our sensors. The mind keeps going, it has thoughts, and it's a wonderful tool. But we, the person, the spirit, the soul in this body are the masters, and the brain is our servant. It works for us. It doesn't control us. So we have that opportunity to make those changes and change our perception.